Sunday Night Showdown series. We are back here tonight at Michigan International Speedway for a very fun race ahead of us. Apologies for missing last week, but we are back stronger and ready for tonight's race. Just wrapping up qualifying currently. We'll give these drivers just a few seconds to go ahead and get their last minute adjustments or whatever they may need in before we line and grid them up. Joseph Kazi looks like he'll be able to sneak onto the pole here. But we'll go over that in just a moment. An exciting night ahead of us. Let's not get away from the fact that we have had a few different winners this season. Last week, Derek Garrison being able to pull off the win at Richmond. But we've had other drivers join him as well. Joseph Kazi currently leads the way with 3 wins on the season. Justin Levine in second with 2 wins, and I don't mean second in points, I just mean second overall with the wins. Reese Hamilton, Derek Garrison, and Eric Garrison all tied with 1 win each. We have to go all the way back to the start of the season at Daytona with Eric Garrison's win. Currently not here and racing, but actually, I apologize. He is here in racing. He will be starting from deep in the field. But let's go ahead and get the field lined up here and go over our starting lineup. Starting on the pole, Joseph Kazi will be joined by Reese Hamilton, who will be to his outside. Going on to row number 2 will be Caleb Weekly and Justin A. A great start here for Justin A. Great qualifying effort to be into that 4th position. Row number 3 will be Joshua Barr and John Berry. Row number 4, we will have Reese Hamilton and Bryce Shoemaker. Going on to row number 5, we will have Jacob Zolla and Derek Garrison. We're heading into row number 6, we will have Keith Shoemaker, who will be joined on the outside by Max Cost. Keith Shoemaker just missing out on a top 10 starting position, but still a really good starting position. Row number 7, Jim Foskett, Jordan Berry. And row number 8, we will have Rob Hamp and Ron Hollyfield. And then starting deep in this field, in row number 9 will be Justin Levine, who did not post a qualifying time, and then Jason Miz. And then in our final row, we have Joey Gatania, I hope I said that right, and Eric Garrison. So, pretty decent sized field, 20 trucks here on the grid. Let's go ahead and take a look at our race analysis real quick. 100 laps here tonight, 200 miles. Stage 1 will be at lap 50, then the final stage will be 50 laps as well. So a nice even split down the middle. Pit road speed is 55 miles an hour, 4 sets total, 3 behind the wall. And then we'll have 30 to about 35-ish pit window for these drivers. So we will have to pit at least once into this first stage, and potentially, depending on how things fall, and make another green flag pit stop at the very end. Weather display, pretty clear out here, no clouds in the sight. Track temp is a hot 113 and north, winds facing north with 13 miles an hour, 13 to 15 miles an hour, so some decent headwinds. Moments away from getting the green flag as the pace truck is going to pull off onto pit road. Starter's got the green flag in hands. Green flag in the air. We're off and away from Michigan International Speedway. Off at 4 for the completion of lap 1. Joseph Kazi will take the lead. And set sail over the pack. Reese Schaefer, Joshua Barr, Caleb Weekly going at it for second and third position. Side by side for fifth position, Bryce Shoemaker on the outside, Justin Day on the inside. Momentum going to Bryce Shoemaker for the time being. But Justin Day fighting strong. He is not quite clear, but almost has the spot. Just not enough speed, not enough help. So he'll have to go side draft and try and make it happen in 1 and 2. Still remaining side by side here for that sixth position. Justin Day now getting into the hands of Derek Garrison. Fanning out 3 wide in the back. These guys getting into the preferred lane, running a little bit higher, fanning out in the corners. You'll see that happen a lot on the front stretch. You're kind of riding up against that wall or following wherever the leader or the guy in front of you is going, just to kind of keep a part of the draft. Jacob Zala right behind, these two in front of him. Joshua Barr, Caleb Weekly. Zala giving help to the 35 of Joshua Barr. Zala now diving down to the inside of Joshua Barr, and now Caleb Weekly also trying to put pressure on both of them. Weekly giving a push to Zala, trying to get them both by this 35 on the outside. Not enough momentum. Oh, and a little bit of a squirreliness save right there out of Zala. I think Weekly might have pushed Zala a little bit further into the corner than he was expecting. That kind of got Zala's truck a little bit upset and unhappy. Now Weekly gonna have to try and make up some lost spots, losing at least 4 spots from that move. A little bit of a wiggle there from Rob Hamp. I think that was Rob Hamp. No, that was Jordan Berry, excuse me. Jordan Berry in the 7 with a little bit of a wiggle right off of 2 right there. That's Justin Levine in that bright yellow truck on that inside lane. Working his way around the 54. Should be able to slide up in front coming off of 4. We'll see if he decides to do it. Actually gets a little bit checked up from the guys in front of him. Oh, Jacob Zala forced Reese Hamilton up the track. He might have gotten a little arrow, but that checked that whole outside lane up just a bit and forced Reese Hamilton to really check up and lose a decent amount of time. Didn't really lose any spots, but that really checked up that whole outside lane, and now it's going to open the door for Justin Levine to make it 3 wide on the bottom. Now Reese Hamilton trying to get those spots back. He's going to dive to the inside. Justin Levine now forced in the middle. Bryce Shoemaker all the way up top trying to make another lane going. It's not going to work though, and Justin Levine beating and banging coming off the two with Reese Hamilton. He's going to send it low and try and slide up in front of it. That 25, Jacob Zala, and put pressure on Reese Hamilton, or Reese Schaefer, excuse me, wrong Reese. Doesn't have enough room to slide up there. I think he thought about it, but didn't have quite enough room to slide up behind Reese Schaefer. These drivers are protecting that inside lane on entry, and I think they kind of see what Justin Levine is doing. He's getting it really down there quite a bit better than a lot of these drivers in front of him, and I think that's really been the difference maker so far in how he's been able to gain so many spots. You see he's just a little bit lower from what these other guys are doing. He's going to steal a spot. Oh, not quite. Almost had the opportunity to take that away from Schaefer, but he's getting a really good entry going into these corners, running super low, not allowing these guys to really give him any fight off of the exit. Now, it's going to be definitely a little bit harder now that he's up to about the top 3 positions, and these guys are probably going to fight a little bit harder. But you also have to wonder what running that bottom side is doing to his tires. Is it hurting them this early in the run? Is it helping him? Has he found something different from what these other drivers have found? In 13 laps into this race, almost halfway through a fuel cycle, you're kind of wondering if maybe Justin Levine knows how to get it done. It's just, will he be able to get it done if he's able to clear around Reese Schaefer? As the only one in front of him that he would need to get around is Joseph Kazi in that number 3 machine. Now he's going to be able to slide up and get in front of Schaefer, slot into that second position. And with that move, Justin Levine able to take the race lead away. And he's put a pretty decent gap between him and second place driver of Reese Schaefer and Joseph Kazi. So Justin Levine making that bottom lane work early on, showing the way, able to take the lead with 14 laps into this thing. Now behind them, there's a lot of battling going on back here. These guys are side by side. That's Justin Day on that top side in front of that 54 of Bryce Shoemaker. On board of John Barry in the 74 truck. A big move right there from John Barry in that 74. Dives it down below Justin Day and Derek Garrison. Now working on Bryce Shoemaker. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle right there. That's going to kill his momentum down this front straightaway. And you'll really need to be careful on these exits as this long run goes on. The more you scrub your tires and the more you kind of really work your truck off the exits, the more you're going to lose for momentum on these long straightaways. You really need to keep that wheel as straight as you can coming off exit so that you can avoid any sort of mishaps. And it's a hard, it looks easy, but it is a pretty difficult track. Just because of that reasoning. And with this truck, it also does not help that these trucks are so aero sensitive now, and they're really, you get up behind somebody just like that and you see their nose just kind of push the whole truck, and you're not really able to get your truck steered in the right direction and really get a whole bunch of understeer. But if you're able to work around and figure out what you need to do to avoid that, then you're pretty set for that. You're gonna slide up in front of Derek Garrison, maybe, almost. Close call right there between Derek Bryce and Caleb Weekly. Bryce getting pressure from Caleb Weekly on the bottom. Caleb Weekly able to maybe get him a little loose, and that's going to cost Bryce Shoemaker some speed here on this straightaway. Now getting pressure from John Barry in that 74 truck. Meanwhile, back up front, these top 6 drivers have kind of put a gap between the rest of the field. Justin Levine still leading the way for the time being. Reese Schaefer, Joseph Kazi, Jacob Zala, Reese Hamilton, and then in in the rounding out that top pack would be Joshua Barr. And now Reese Schaefer diving down to the inside with help from Joseph Kazi. They're going to work together and see if they can get around Justin Levine for this top spot. Schaefer forcing Levine wide just a bit, and that's going to allow Schaefer to get the race lead away. So a nice move by Reese Schaefer going into turns 1 and 2 with help from Joseph Kazi. These trucks look like they're a handful right now. You saw Justin Levine and Joseph Kazi both kind of lose that front end a bit and had that right rear kick out just a bit. Justin Levine now trying to work his way back around Reese Schaefer for the race lead. Side by side down the front straightaway, side drafting in a pretty decent gap. So no help for either one of these drivers as they head into turns 1 and 2. We'll see what Justin Levine can do off of 2. He's going to slide up and take that position back. So a short few laps for for Reese Schaefer with that race lead, but now Justin Levine taking it back. We do have a driver coming off of pit road. I think it is Justin Day. Yes, it is Justin Day. Bottom of your screen there in that 24. He'll be coming off pit road right there. You see him in screen. So first driver to make their pit stop. He'll have fresher tires and probably be able to pull away from this pack and not go a lap down. We'll see who decides to come to pit road. It's still a little bit early, so Justin Day started off the green flag pit stops just a little earlier than expected. Although it does look like he's going for the split the stage in half. We'll see if that works out for him. There obviously will be a decent time difference between the couple of laps, but until this plays out, we won't really know if it hurts or helps him. It's really going to depend on how these other guys get onto pit road and what they have to deal with when coming off of pit road. But if you're Justin Day, for the time being, you need to be able to set some decent laps, and you should be able to cycle around with the race lead when these guys do pit, although we'll have to wait and see. Some other drivers now making their way down pit road and off of pit road as well. That's John Berry in the 70 Ford coming off of pit road. I think we have Jordan Berry as well, who has made a green flag pit stop. It's a 9 of Jason Miz. So a little bit earlier than we expected for some green flag pit stops, although we are right in that window now. So I expect these leaders to come probably within the next, I'd say, 3 to 4 laps. Some of these guys might try and run this thing till it's absolutely empty, and that might just be trying to have that lap or two difference with these tires. Again, that's Jordan Berry on the inside in that red and white number 7 truck, trying to get his lap back. He'll do it coming off of turn number 2, right in front of the leader of Justin Levine. Now, there hasn't really been a lot of position change in these top 5 positions. We have to go a little bit further back to about this 8th position with Caleb Weekly and Derek Garrison. Now, this is kind of what I'm talking about with Justin Day. If he does come up on some lap traffic, you need to be able to get around them as quick as you can. You see John Barry here in the 74 trying to get around these leaders, and you don't want to be a reason as to why one of these guys wrecks, but you also want to be able to get around these guys as quick as you can. Mostly for, you don't want to be a lap down and have the caution come out. And as I say, these guys are going to hit pit road. That's your top 5. That's Justin Levine, Joseph Kazi, Reese Schaefer, Reese Hamilton, Jacob Zolla, Bryce Shoemaker, and Derek Garrison, all hitting pit road at the same time. It looks like everybody got on the pit road smooth, though, and a little bit of issues there for Justin Levine. Just overshot a bit. That's going to cost him some time. And I think Reese Hamilton did as well. So did Joseph Cosley. So a lot of these guys overshooting their pit box on these slick and hot tires does not help that this track is a little bit hot as well. But that should shake up the race lead a bit. And yes, it will. Reese Schaefer is going to be the first one to come off pit. And then it'll be Joseph Kazi, Justin Levine, Jacob Zolla, Reese Hamilton, Bryce Shoemaker, and Derek Garrison. So most of the field has made their scheduled green flag pit stop. Joshua Barr, the only driver who has yet to make that. And as I say that, I believe he hit pit road. So now the whole field has made their green flag pit stop. That's going to cycle Justin Day around about 8 seconds in front of the group that had come down pit road together. Jordan Berry came down a few laps before this main group of Weekly, Schaefer, Kazi, and Levine. Weekly actually did come, I believe, a lap later than Schaefer on back. So a few lap difference between John Berry, Caleb Weekly, Reese Schaefer, Derek Garrison, and the rest of the gang. And then Justin Day splitting it, so he's already about 10 laps into this stint. And I kind of like this call out of Justin Day and his team. It kind of allows you to figure out if this could work in the second stage. The worst case scenario is you lose a couple spots here if they catch you, but you'd be able to know that it wouldn't work in the second part of this race, which is some really good, I think, strategy call. Obviously, you want to win the stage, but if it doesn't happen, then you'll still be able to get some good information for this second stage. Alright, while we are at a good point, we're going to go ahead and do our side-by-side commercial, and then we will be back in just a few moments.
We know what we gotta do. Stay the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory, this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next lap is going to end it.
Does he have enough?
A dominant performance.
You gotta say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
We gotta earn this thing. Right here, Vinny.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday night Showdown Truck Series here at Michigan International Speedway. We are just a few laps away from getting our first stage complete. Caleb Weekly just taking the race lead away from Justin Day, and we kind of knew that that was a possibility. Justin Day pitting at lap 25. He's got about 7 to 8 more laps on tires than a lot of these guys, so we knew that the tire difference would be big, and it's showing to be that right now. However, he's still sitting in second position. Now getting pressure from Derek Garrison. Derek Garrison going to dive to the inside. He'll be looking to take second position away and try to go at Caleb Weekly for the race lead and the stage win. We'll see if he can make it happen here. Now, Derek Garrison, having missed ace, still sitting pretty good in points. Currently sitting second with the one win that he had last week. However, there is a decent points difference between him and the points leader, Joseph Kazi. And a stage win would be great for him here. And realistically, that would probably be a big point into this race if he's able to get a stage win and then continue to be out front. Now we'll have to see if he has enough tire here to get around Caleb Weekly's two, a little bit closer on tires. 1 lap difference between these two, so they are pretty equal on tires, and it's really going to come down to driver and what they can do inside the truck and who can get the advantage of the other, as Derek Garrison's going to dive to the inside, and that high side is the preferred lane. I think Caleb Weekly could definitely hold Derek Garrison down. However, Caleb Weekly has looked pretty loose off the exits of these corners the past few laps, so we'll have to wait and see if he can hang on to this outside lane. Derek Garrison, though, is still holding strong on that inside lane, really not looking like he's working that truck as much as Caleb Weekly has to do. Now trying to run a little bit higher of a lane, trying to get a good run built for this long straightaway. We'll see if he can do it and make it happen. He's going to dive to the inside again with that momentum. We'll see if it carries into turns 1 and 2, and yes, it will. He's going to slide up in front of Caleb Weekly, but Caleb Weekly says, hold on, I have a chance at making a crossover, just not able to make it stick, and I think he got a little bit loose, and now he's going to have to slot in behind this 23 truck again. Still, though, Caleb Weekly applying pressure in 3 and 4. Will he have enough to slide up in front of him? And I think not quite. So now Derek Garrison with the better positioning, with just a handful of laps to go in this first stage. And we talk about momentum carrying over from the win at Richmond, and right now it's definitely doing just that. Leading here at lap 48 on 49, looking to complete the stage win. Derek Garrison just has to come around one more time, and he'll be able to get the stage win. Caleb Weekly still in tow, trying to make it happen and give a run for Derek's money. Does Weekly have enough? He is going to try a little bit higher of the lane, try and get some run built. Lost a bit of time right there. See what he can do in 3 and 4. Derek runs higher, Weekly runs lower. Tries to put the throttle down. You see those wheels work, and just not enough. So Derek Garrison will come across the line with the stage win. So Derek Garrison getting the race stage 1 win, leaving off where he left off last week. Looking strong so far here tonight in this 23 Chevy Silverado. Now this is a fixed setup. You do get one fast repair. You can't really make any adjustments. I mean, you can adjust your brake bias, but that's about it. And really what this does is it allows drivers to regroup themselves, especially at a fast-paced track like this. It'll bunch you up if you fell off that pack, and if you had struggles during that first stage of trying to save your right rear or your right front, wherever it may be, left rear, left front, whatever it may be, now's a good time to come down pit road, take that tire change, and kind of mentally reset and put yourself in a winning position. Now we still have another half of this race to go, and that will definitely bring a lot more entertainment, as you see Joseph Kazi again with some pit road issues, sliding through his box just a bit. An exchange off of pit road. Bryce Shoemaker will now be scored in the race lead. Justin Day, we talked about the strategy and what it would do for him. He's going to start this second half of the race in third position. So kind of in the same spot that he started in. However, we'll have to see what his strategy for this time is. We'll see if he decides to split it again, or maybe he runs a bit longer. Now, I think this will really open up the door for some drivers to see what Justin Day was able to do and maybe try and cut that down a few laps. Now, it wouldn't be ideal if not a lot of people go with that strategy, but if you get a decent group of people to do that, then really you have a little bit less to worry about. Michigan here being this high rate of speed racetrack, you'll really have to keep up in the draft here at this point, knowing that we don't have any more stages, and unless we get a caution, then this is really what's going to line us up for the finish. So you don't want to lose the draft here. You don't want to put yourself in a bad position to wreck. And you also, if we do go green, you don't want to have any issues on pit road like we've seen so far tonight. Bryce Shoemaker going to lead the field into the restart zone. Derek Garrison to his inside. Green flag back in the air. We're off in racing once again from Michigan International Speedway. Three wide for a moment. That's Derek Garrison stuck in the middle. Caleb Weekly diving to the inside. Now we're three wide at the front. Bryce Shoemaker, oh, big loose out of that 54. That's going to cost him a lot of momentum. He's going to get swallowed up and get driven by on both sides. From leader to about 7th to 8th position. Still fighting, trying to get in decent spot. Now he's 4 wide, 3 wide again. Falling back very quick. A big slide by Bryce Shoemaker. That cost him a ton of position. Settling back into that 14th position. Still fanning out in the middle of the pack here. Justin Day with the race lead. Reese Schaefer wants it. We'll see what Schaefer can do here. Justin Day a little loose out front. Now that's going to open up the door for Schaefer to take a dive to the inside. Now Reese Schaefer taking the race lead away from Justin Day. Justin Day doesn't have to worry too much. Not really any pressure from behind for the time being. Three wide off 4. Settling it back down to 2 wide. That is Jordan Berry, Robbie Hamp, Jacob Zala back there in the orange and black truck, trying to get around those 2 drivers in front of him. Oh, a little bit of a bobble right there from Hamilton. Zala now up to the 8th position. Getting around Rob Hamp there, who had a moment off of 4. Oh, Hamilton, I think, got a piece of that wall right there, following behind Zala. Look at that big run down this backstretch from Jacob Zala. He'll be on the back bumper of Jordan Berry now. See what Zala decides to do. He's kind of boxed in by Reese Hamilton. The 35 at the moment right there, that's Joshua Barr. It looks like he may have lost the front end and then tried to correct and lost the back end. Big moment right there for the 35 as he tries to hold on to 8th position with pressure from Hamilton and Zala. Oh, big moment right there for Caleb Weekly. Lost the back end, and he's going to lose that spot to Justin Day and Jordan Berry. Now losing 2 more spots. Oh, Justin Day also with a moment right there off of 2 all the way down below the apron. Able to save it for the time being. See if we can go back and see how that happened with Caleb Weekly. All right, top of your screen is currently live. Bottom of your screen, Caleb Weekly. Looks like he just lost the nose and corrected that. Able to hang on to it and keep going, but that really lost him a lot of time right there, and thankfully didn't have any more issues from anybody around him or himself, and that was a moment right there for Caleb Weekly, and what a save. And we're getting to get into this point in the run where we're starting to see these drivers have some handling issues, especially off of 4. I think that was Justin Day who had another scary moment. He had one just a few laps ago and lost the rear end right there. And this is a stack up of trucks right here. All these guys just trying to fight for position, but also trying to fight to hang on to their trucks. Zala working around Garrison here. Again in that preferred lane on that high side. These 3 leaders tucked together for the time being. Jordan Baird with a really good run right now. See if he can hang on to this 3rd place till the end of this race. But he's lined up right behind 2 of the best in the business, Joseph Kazi, Reese Schaefer. And Reese Schaefer still looking for the first win on the season. He's sitting pretty good in points. Doesn't have the win to his name. He has been so close a few times and just hasn't been able to finish it off yet. So will tonight be his night is the question. He's got about 30 laps to do it. 1 green flag pit stop remaining. Oh, big wiggle right there out of Hamilton, but driving the wheels off that thing He's going to try and get past Jordan Berry. Oh, Derek Garrison. A big moment right there with Hamilton. Able to hang on to it. Next, oh, and then we got a wreck. That's Reese Hamilton. Jacob Zolla with a big hit. Still no caution. Jacob Zolla in the grass. That truck is completely destroyed. And I'm very surprised that didn't bring out a caution. That was a really vicious hit for that 25 truck. Take a look at it quick. Let's take a look at both these right here. So the first incident started with Derek Garrison right back here. Kind of looks like he may have washed up and we got a caution, so we'll come back and look at that in just a second. And I think the caution is for that 25 machine of Jacob Zolla, who we're still trying to limp it around. So this is definitely going to throw a wrench into the green flag pit stop that we are more than likely just moments away from happening. Reese Schaefer going to lead the field down pit road here, and I expect everybody to come down as well. Now, I don't know if you want to risk it and try and take 2 tires. I think it's a little too far to the end of this finish to try and play that strategy. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that first incident. Now, it first happened here with Derek Garrison, who I think looked like he was trying to come up and maybe got a little bit loose, and then got into Jordan Berry's left rear. No harm, no foul right there. Able to keep it going, and then up in front of them, these guys trying to fight for position. Looks like Hamilton got a little bit loose, made contact with Zolla. Zolla, absolutely massive hit into the tire barriers right there. Got it back going, and I think the caution was for Zolla. But that was a massive hit for the 25, and I'm really surprised we didn't get a caution for that. That's really surprising, but we'll ride on board with him here. This is gonna be a tough one for Jacob Zolla right here. Let's go on board with him. So you see Hamilton get loose. Zolla tries to save it and keep it off of anything and just clips that tire barrier with the left rear. And around he went. Alright, we'll be working our way around with 24 laps to go when we take the green flag. Derek Garrison having the race lead. Reese Schaefer joining him on that front row. Pace truck off and away. And we're racing once again from Michigan International Speedway. Green flag in the air. Oh, Garrison with a bit of a bobble there going into 1 and 2. That's going to really open up the door for a lot of the field. Joseph Kazi diving low. So is Jordan Berry, Justin Day. They're 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide for a moment. Derek Garrison holding up against that outside wall as they work below him. And I think when we're talking strategy, Derek Garrison's strategy is not looking too hot right now, as he's falling all the way back deep into the field. Currently sitting in 16th position. Oh, big wiggle right there out of that 14 truck. Laps to go here at Michigan. Schaefer up front, Kazi in second, Barr in third, joined by Jordan Berry. Oh, and we got a caution again, and this time it's in the back, and it's Rob Hamp around with Max Cost, I believe, in the 63 there. So another late race caution here with just about 20 laps to go. These drivers do have one fast repair, so I think some of these drivers will potentially take them if they have damage. I think it's a good time to take it if you really need to do it. Let's see what happened with Rob Hamp here. Oh, looks like I think Max might have had some help from behind. We'll see. It's pretty gnarly back here, slipping and sliding. May have made a little contact and then just wiggling here, wiggling there, and Max Cost down in front of some of these guys, taking Rob Hamp with him. Take a look at it right here again. And Caleb Weekly also got really loose right behind them as well. Jim Foskin in the 47, and I think that was Jason Miz up against the wall in this 9 blue and white truck. So, kind of regular Michigan right there, I'd say. I mean, we saw a lot of scary moments off of 4, some moments off of 2, and really right there was just hard racing, and both these trucks might have gotten a little bit of aero help from each other, which then just sent those guys around and brings out our caution here with just under 20 laps to go. Alright, don't forget, after the race we will be starting our post-race coverage. At the conclusion of this race, we will get to speak with some of our drivers. Top 3 drivers will each be able to get the chance to come and have a word with us, and then we may also get a chance to speak to some other drivers as well. So make sure you stick around for the post-race coverage. Again, that'll start at the conclusion of this race once the checkered flag flies. Alright, we're gonna get these guys stacked up and ready to go. Joseph Kazi, Joshua Barr, that is your front row. Fans on their feet. Let's get them wrecked up and ready to go once again. Green flag back in the air. Kazi with a great restart into turns 1 and 2. But here comes Joshua Barr with help from the 14 of Joey Gattina. Oh, and around the 14. Gattina around. Heavy contact to this front end machine of the 14 truck. There's another truck involved. That's a 13 of Caleb Weekly, this time not so lucky. So running in third place, that's Joey Gattina. Might have gotten a little help from Jordan Berry. Caleb Weekly, just an innocent bystander right there. Nowhere for him to go. Take a look at it again from this angle. Yeah, it looks like Jordan Berry was trying to slide up behind Joey and just misjudged or mistimed that. Might have gotten a clear up call and tagged the 14, and around he went and collecting a few other trucks as well. Caleb Weekly, probably the worst out of that group. See if we can ride on board with Caleb Weekly here. So he's a few rows back behind, not really able to see any of this happening. Right there, you see that 14 around and nowhere for Weekly to go. Killed the front end of Caleb Weekly's truck. Right on board with this one. Oh, a nice job by John Berry avoiding majority of that. Maybe a little bit of left front damage, but did a great job. Take a look at it one more time here. So side drafting, trying to slot in line and just misjudged it, and around goes the 14 hard into that outside wall with help from the front end of Berry's truck. So, really, I'm not quite sure if you're the 14 truck of Joey Gattina, if you're happy with that. You were sitting in pretty good positioning with under 20 laps to go. Now he still has a shot at trying to make something happen. He'll be one lap down, so he'll at least need some sort of caution. And I'm sure he'll probably want to speak to Jordan Berry after this race is over. Getting ready to go green once again. We'll have 13 laps to go when we take the green flag. A few cautions in this second half of the race. Will we get some more, or will these drivers be able to figure it out and take it home under green. We're right here to get the action going once again. Green flag back in the air. Joshua Barr with a great restart over Joseph Kazi in that bottom lane. Joseph Kazi, a big move, able to take the race lead back once again. What will Joshua Barr have in store? Pushing him down this front straightaway. Three wide. Back here, Justin Levine in the middle. John Barry on the outside, or on the inside, excuse me, Justin Day on the outside. And that bright yellow Toyota Tundra working his way back up. Now going for second place, diving down to the inside of Joshua Barr. May have gotten a little bit tight right there. Almost contact. Levine into second place, looks to the outside. Coming to 10 laps to go. A little bit of a wiggle right there. That's going to stall out some momentum. And another wiggle coming off 4. 3 wide. I believe that Schaefer in the wall just a bit in that black and white truck. Under 10 laps to go, still a lot left in this race. Bryce Shoemaker top of 3 wide, and Joshua Barr a little bit loose, trying to hang on to it. Great job there by Justin Day to check up and avoid any disaster from happening. And we're 4 wide at the front for the time being. Maybe 3 wide. Justin Levine, John Barry, Joseph Kazi battling out for the top spot. Kazi with the advantage in 3 and 4. Levine trying to get to second once again, but John Barry has it, and he's got the momentum from Jordan Barry behind him. Eight laps to go. This is very nervous racing. Or at least this is making me very nervous from this racing standpoint. These guys are racing very aggressive. A lot of slipping and sliding, pushing and shoving, but also very smart. Reese Schaefer trying to force Jordan Barry into a mistake, and he's going to slide up and take that position away. Now Schaefer diving down to the inside, trying to get around John Barry in the 74, pressuring Justin Levine. Not enough, has to slot in line in third position. Joseph Kazi has to be aggressive with these blocks. Levine all over the back bumper, diving to the inside. leaning off each other on the front stretch. Levine has it for the time being, but Kazi fighting back on the outside. Enough to slide up, but a little mistake from Kazi opens the door. Levine back out front now. Oh, and are we wrecking? We're wrecking in the back. That's Derek Garrison. Around with help from Bryce Shoemaker. Intense racing. And unfortunately, Derek Garrison gets the worst end of that and goes around. So hard racing back in the pack here. Derek Garrison bottom side. Bryce Shoemaker middle. Bryce with a little bit of a wiggle, and oh, I think that is the 7 of Jordan Berry again. Tagged the outside and just got shot back down to Derek and Bryce, who were below him. Derek going for a big slide. Remember, Derek kind of was pretty much swallowed up there on that restart with about 20 laps to go, maybe a little bit less than that, and kind of got shuffled all the way back here. So some strategy kind of put him back there, and unfortunately right now not sitting too hot. He'll come down pit road and probably try and get either some fuel, or if he has more tires in his pit box, or at least try and get some damage fixed if he had. And he looks like it's going to go fuel only, I believe, right there. So trying to get all he could, and just unfortunate for Derek Garrison right there, who had really nothing of his doing. Just the two guys above him had some troubles and unfortunately collected the 23 of Derek Garrison. So we'll be going into overtime with this caution. Well, I guess not exactly overtime, but it will be a green-white checkered, so pretty much the same exact thing. We'll be coming around with 2 laps to go, so a pretty quick finish to the end of this thing. Does Justin Levine have enough to hang on to the race win? Or will he get pressure from John Berry again and don't count out Reese Schaefer? Again, still looking for that first win on the season. He's right there in 3rd position on that inside lane. crowd on their feet. They are in for an exciting finish here at Michigan. Justin Levine, John Barry making up the front row. Green flag back in the air. John Barry with not a great restart. That outside lane checked up just a bit. Oh, sliding in the back, that's Rob Hamp, and a big mess back here. 3 wide, that's Joseph Kazi. And Joseph Kazi making a little bit more contact with these guys, trying to get through the field. Oh, we got Jacob Zala around. So caution coming out before we're able to take the white flag. That's gonna set us up for another overtime attempt here. And Reese Schaefer, I believe, was able to get around Justin Levine there. Which would be, it would be pretty huge for Reese Schaefer. You'll be able to take your lane choice and have the clean air. We'll have to see if that is official, and it looks like it is official. So Reese Schaefer with a great restart. Actually, maybe I switched it up. Maybe not so much. Alright, so it was correct. Justin Levine able to hang on to the race lead, and Reese Schaefer in second. However, depending on where Reese Schaefer decides to restart, he has an opportunity to start on his outside or behind him again. We saw what happened that restart right there a few moments ago. That outside lane had a little bit more of a tougher time getting going, so it's really going to come down to what lane you choose and if it ends up being the correct one and how good of a restart you're able to get. Jacob Zalo, let's go back and see what happened with him. Looking underneath, Caleb Weekly. Looks like he washed up a bit and looks like he just washed up. I'm not sure if he had an issue, mechanical issue, or if he was just trying to slot up in front of Weekly, but could potentially have misjudged it as well. That was a pretty late get up there. Either way, though, it results in Zala, Weekly, Eric Garrison, and more getting involved in this wreck right here. And a hard hit from a lot of these drivers. That's Joseph Kazi in that 3. Jim Foskett as well. Jim Foskett just unfortunately involved in these wrecks. None of his doing, just excuse me, it just happens to fall in his lap. Seems like every single time. So Jim Foskett, unfortunately, another rough night here for him. It looks like Reese Schaefer has elected to choose that inside lane behind Justin Levine. So he liked what he had last restart behind Justin Levine. We'll see if maybe he can get another good start and stay in tow with Levine. Although Levine, he's gonna do his best and try and hang on to this thing. He's got a hungry field behind him though. We'll get this try again. Levine, John Barry leading this field to the green once again. Levine with an excellent restart, and around goes Jordan Barry. And we're wrecking in turn one. And that's Joshua Barr also involved. And a hard break for Joshua Barr, who was just racing up there with the leaders. Jordan Barry here with heavy right front damage. So a good restart by both these lanes. It came with Hamilton. Looks like Barry just wasn't really willing to give up any extra room there for Hamilton to get up, and unfortunately I think Hamilton was there, and really nothing you can actually do in that position. I mean, Jordan Barry already has a truck to his outside of John Barry and can't really go anywhere. You know, some could say Hamilton could have backed out of it probably right about here. I mean, realistically, that probably would have been the smarter, well, maybe not smart, but maybe probably the better decision. I mean, I wouldn't say it would be the smarter decision, because if you lift, you also cost yourself a chance at losing a lot of momentum in a lot of spots. So really, I don't really think there's either party to blame. It was an aggressive move by Hamilton. I mean, he got a really good restart right here, able to send it down below these guys, and unfortunately with the corner coming up, just really not enough track room for these guys down there, and unfortunately Jordan Barry goes around and gets the worst end of it. Justin Day also hitting that outside the wall pretty good. Then Joshua Barr right there in the 35 machine, unfortunately an innocent bystander again. So these guys racing aggressive here at the end of things, just trying to get and give whatever they can get, and unfortunately not enough room there for the two of those trucks. So we're going to go ahead and rack these guys, restack and rack these guys up once again. Schaefer elects to do the same that he's done the past two restarts, and that start behind Justin Levine. John Barry has been able to get some pretty decent starts on the outside. We'll see if maybe this is the one that he can time it perfectly, or if maybe Levine and Schaefer are able to get things going a little bit better here in 1 and 2. And we have Max Cost in the 63 up in 5th position. Then we have Keith Shoemaker in that bright blue, red, and white 88 Valvoline machine. He's sitting in a pretty decent position, and actually 7th position, excuse me. So he's sitting in a pretty decent position, and if he's able to finish this thing off, that would be a huge finish for him. He's not had the finishes that he's probably wanted or deserved this season so far, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that. Back up front though, Justin Levine, Sean Berry making up the front row once again. Green flag back in the air. Levine with a good start and help from Schaefer. John Bear just not able to get it going there. Rob Hamp now diving to the outside. They're going to battle for 3rd position. We'll see if these guys can build a run on Levine. Rob Hamp has a decent run going into turns 3 and 4. Schaefer, he's going to need a good run down this front stretch to have a shot. There's Shoemaker looking low as well. Coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go. Schaefer all over the back bumper of Levine now. Will he send it to the inside? No, he won't. That's going to allow Rob Hamp to try and make something happen. Not able to hang on to it, but he's going to stay just underneath. Side by side for 3rd place. 1 last shot for Reese Schaefer. What will he do? He's going to try and build the run up on the high side. Will it carry over to the front straightaway? Here comes Joseph Kazi as well. But up at the front, Justin Levine able to hang on to it, and Shoemaker with a late move. He'll be able to get 3rd place and hang on to it over Joseph Kazi. So Justin Levine able to hang on and survive. Justin Levine gets it done at Michigan with a wild overtime attempt. We'll get a word with him here. Justin Levine, sorry to interrupt you, but congrats on the race win. You're able to hang on to it there after a wild few restarts there at the very end. It looked like you were really threat to win tonight. I mean, I saw you and I watched you make that lower slash bottom lane work better than a lot of people did. Was there any sort of, I guess, like doubt that maybe you were, you're gonna have other people figure out that groove and give you a run for your money, or what really was it like for you tonight?
It was an uphill battle. I didn't get a chance to qualify. Coming from the back to the front, I knew somebody was gonna start noticing me rolling the bottom, especially when I got to the front. Kazi and Reese started to take the air away. Everybody was just leaving it open. Like this truck package gives off such a wake that you need to find the clean air to get the nose to turn. And I just kept running the bottom, and nobody was stopping me for quite some time. And then I thought we were gonna get a green flag run after stage, so I topped off and I accidentally ran into Miz, and I got nose damage, and I couldn't get to the front that whole time until the accident with Jacob. So after that, I knew I had to be aggressive and take tires, and Reese was on the same strategy as me, so I had to be aggressive and get in front of him. So we had a bunch of cautions there, and I just kept sending it in on the bottom because again, nobody tried to stop me there. But then everything else towards the end, it just has to be luck and having a good teammate like Reese. If I didn't have Reese pushing me and us timing the restart, I think Bryce comes and beats us. He had like, I want to say almost 20 lap fresher tires, and he was rolling. One more lap, he gets both of us easy.
And you talk about those late race strategy differences. It looked like majority of the night was just really the difference was clean air and trying to separate yourself from the draft behind you. And there was moments where it looked like, like you said, you had some moments here and there where you had either damage or you're right behind a wreck. And again, starting from the back, that definitely puts a lot of stress on a driver to try and make up ground early on. But either way, you're able to get it done, and honestly, kind of made it look easier at some points tonight. Going into next week, let me double check my schedule real quick. We are at IRP, so Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Completely different track from tonight, the high bank and high speeds of Michigan. Really, tell me about what your short track sort of program is and what you look forward to, or maybe don't look forward to, with next week's race.
Definitely not looking forward to Lucas Oil. I love short tracks, just not that one. That's for sure. It especially in a fixed package, fixed setups, it's very hard to pass, even if you are the faster car. So now it involves people leaning on each other or using the bumper to get around. And unfortunately, with internet, sometimes you get punted thanks to netcode. Sometimes it might have been intentional, but it always turns into a cluster. And I enjoy when it's long green flag racing, when the tires get nice and slick, and to have constant short runs. And I'm sure there's going to be a couple paybacks, or I drove in hard to rattle his cage and I sent it a little too hard. So I fingers crossed everyone here plays nice, but not looking forward to it. But we'll see what the cards have for us.
Yes, and that, I think you said exactly what a lot of people are thinking, either, whether it's payback or maybe mysterious netcode that happens. You never know. Before I let you go, though, is there any sponsors you'd like to thank or any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Of course, shout out to you. I still, every time I watch your broadcast, I love that you're solo. I can't believe that you've been doing this solo this whole time. You did such an incredible product here. Really enjoy going back and watching your stuff. Bryce and all the admin that put this on, of course, all the viewers, whatnot, Team Conti, they're on the car for this year for 2026. So definitely shout out to them. And of course, everyone that puts the time in. This league wouldn't be a thing if the 20 of us didn't show up every week. So happy that we have a place to call home and race every Sunday night.
Alrighty, Justin Levine, thank you for taking a moment to speak with us. We'll see you again next week, and go celebrate that win.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, that was Justin Levine, race winner here at Michigan, able to survive and hang on to it. Again, he said everybody was leaving the bottom open just for him, and it worked out because he was able to take advantage of space that nobody else was using, and he got it done here tonight at Michigan International Speedway. Let's go ahead and hear from some of our other drivers here. See, who are we standing by with? We're standing by with Bryce Shoemaker in the 54. Bryce Shoemaker almost had it there. A little bit fresher tires there at the very end. And then these overtime attempts able to set you up in pretty good position. Just not enough time there to make those tires useful. What maybe more did you need to do different on that restart?
Just gotta learn to be more aggressive. I was still driving while trying to make sure I didn't get too loose, didn't overcorrect and all that. I know the track temp was pretty high up, and with the new truck model, it's definitely way looser. That's for sure. I was just expecting it more gripped up, and tonight it was not gripped up at all, to say the least.
Yeah, and it looked very slick and hot out there. I mean, track temps were in the hundreds, I believe. So it was very slick out there. And especially on those longer runs when you use that right rear and the truck being so aero dependent and kind of, I don't want to say a box truck, but it is sort of like that. Really, I mean, I think we saw it tonight a few in that second half of this race, a few incidents where people just losing the handling on their truck, and I think you were involved in one where I think it was a 7 truck of Jordan Berry lost the handling and then hit the wall and unfortunately came down into you, and then you collected Derek as well. So really a hard battle out there tonight. And I don't know if you want to hear it, but we do head a pretty difficult, some would say, track next week at IRP. What are your thoughts on next week, and what do you expect out of yourself?
I firmly believe IRP is one of the worst tracks ever designed, and I absolutely despise it with everything in my being. So, we're gonna actually. This sounds bad as an owner, but I gotta hope for a lot of wrecks, a lot of cautions, and a lot of memes. So, I mean, we're gonna throw practice like we do every week. Obviously, the practice is helping me improve as the results are showing. But yeah, RRP might be the one track that's just too difficult to overcome, especially with some of these short track aces that are in the field. So, if we can get a top 10 out of it, maybe collect 1 or 2 stage points, that'll be a win in my book. But yeah, just gotta hope and pray for the best for that track.
Well, hoping and praying. Hopefully, we don't do too much. Hoping and praying that it goes green. I would love to see some green flag racing. However, still, third place finish, a really good finish for you tonight. Before I let you go, is there any shout outs you'd like to give or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thank Jordan Berry and his JP Reps or JB Reps. First ever sponsor for the league, so I want to thank him for sponsoring. He puts on good paints and makes really cool goalie masks. Got to thank you for the broadcast. I know this is your first one back of the season, so hope you get back into the swing of things. I can't wait to watch it back. I got to thank the field. I mean, we are closing out the regular season with having 20 plus truck fields still, so we're actually growing throughout the season, which is new for us. And got to thank everyone for coming out. I mean, really fun race tonight. It was clean until we got that last 25% of the race, a little bit less than that. But I mean, that's Michigan and the trucks. You expect nothing less. So yeah, just got to thank them for putting on a good race and thanking everyone for putting this on, and thank the admins.
Alrighty, Bryce. Thank you for taking minutes to speak with us, and hopefully we can speak to you next week. Although it does not sound like it will be really fun for you to have to do that or have to race here. But we wish you the best of luck next week.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that was third place finisher of Bryce Shoemaker. Now let's go ahead and take a word with Reese Hamilton, who is standing by and finished in second place. Almost had it there at the end. You had a few chances at going for the race win with Justin Levine. Just it seemed like every time that you had momentum going, the caution would fly, and you just really weren't able to put the pieces together. What maybe did you need differently on those last few restarts to go your way?
Yeah, I think what's funny is Oscar, I think is what really sealed it was lap, I think it was 82 when we first came out of the pits there. One of those restarts I chose the outside, and Reese Hamilton in front of me did a really late send up high as well, so then we double stacked, and Justin got under me and restart below me, and I think it was with about 10 or 12 to go, and so he had the preferred lane. It's so funny, I'm sitting under caution, I'm telling myself, I'm gonna choose bottom, and that's all like 4 guys go bottom, I'm like, all right, I'm going high, and then of course, more people went high, and so it was so tough on that because you needed to be that first car on the bottom lane because you didn't get the clean air on your nose and turn. And so I think, yeah, about 12 to go when it shows the high line and accident really sealed my fate, and that was big difference of a race there at the end. But we can't be disappointed. We got P2. Led a lot of laps. I felt really good all night. We were up front, started second, barely. You probably saw that at the qualifying cause he got by 1,000th, like always. And then yeah, we were we kind of, everybody, me and the teammates kind of knew, like, with only 3 sets of tires that we kind of had to save one. So we saved, obviously, lap 25. We saved a set of tires and came in. I think my right sides were 18 and 22%. So I think Justin had 7% on the right rear. So we were all really, really struggling. And I took tires at lap 50, lap 75, and it was a really good race. I mean, that was, I don't know about your perspective, probably couple down moments, but I thought it was a fantastic race throughout the whole field. The truck was set up perfectly with where the higher track temp made it loose, but if you got someone's wake, it was super tight. So it was a perfect balance of drafty but you could still pass with some help, and it was a really, really good race. Just one choose kind of bit me in the butt there with 12 to go, but other than that, yeah, it was a really, really fun race, and take P2 all day.
Yeah, you talk about making choices like those that can be so critical. I know this is one of the leagues that you can choose your lane on restarts, and it kind of can either make your day or seal your fate at certain points. And we did also talk about there being a lot more competition this season, and like the field not being so spread out. And now you still knocking on the door of getting the first win for yourself this season. And I know points wise you're not really too worried about it, but really, is it maybe something where someday you might have some sort of luck go your way, or is this maybe something where it's like, well, we're here and it's not the win, but we can deal with it and survive as into the playoffs as long as we stay finishing in second and third position.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to win, and like you said, like sometimes in a way, I don't. Unfortunately, you weren't there last week at Richmond, but I had the lead with on the white flag, and Derek Garrison on 40 lap old tires came up behind me and blew the doors off me coming out of turn 4, and I lost. So it's like, and it's nothing. I went high, and he passed me. If I would have went low, he would have passed me. It was that 40 lap difference was so big, and it's I lost second place, third place this year. We've also had some, start of the year we had I made some questionable strategy calls and didn't finish super great, and I also gotten caught up. I think honestly, I think one of my best chances to win this year was ironically the first race of the year at Daytona. I just with that big wreck at the end, if I wouldn't have clipped pit road and got hit by Colby underneath me, I think I would have had that win. But like you said, it's the luck. It comes and goes. It's part of iRacing, and I'm not worried at all. If even if I didn't win any races this whole regular season, that's totally okay. Just hopefully we can, pencil in a couple when it matters in the playoffs. But what's also funny is I think last season was the same way. Like I'm pretty sure I didn't win any races until like the 9th or 10th race into the year. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a while to get the first one in, and like I said, it's combination of the trucks being that much closer, naturally with the drafting and just how they run, plus the talent getting sharper, inviting more people in and really creating and honestly, to be completely honest, I mean, a lot of guys have just gotten a lot better. I mean, when we talk about Derek Harrison, Bryce, Eric, I mean, almost everybody that's been running the league last 3 or 4 years has consistently gotten much faster. And honestly, I think what helps is with these big green flag runs and these track car combos with it being a little bit more difficult, it makes everybody a lot better. And as a result, here we are. It's the gap is that much smaller. I think, Oscar, if we went back to the Gen 6 right now, just tomorrow, we race a Gen 6 race, instead of there being a 4 or 5 second gap between everybody, I think the whole field would be right there with each other, because everybody's just gotten so much better. So we'll hopefully we get one, but we're not I'm not gonna be flushing ice cubes down the toilet or anything like crazy stuff, something like that to try to get the luck turned around. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't, that's okay too. I'm totally okay with it. So.
Well, that's what I like to hear. And, like you said, if history repeats itself, we might be seeing him back as a championship, either contender or the championship winner overall. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Before I let you go, any shout outs or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to thank Mid-Michigan Milk Producers Association. They're always in the hood. The Got Milk truck. Been running that for to my dad and my grandfather. That's always loved running that truck. It's been super special with me. I won in a previous league I won my first championship ever was in this truck 3 or 4 years ago in the league, and it was pretty special, pretty awesome. And so I want to thank that in the hood. I want to thank teammates, Kazi, Justin, all the Winston guys. I always love working well with everybody. I mean, everybody loves racing, and as a result, the racing we get is spectacular because of them. And of course, there's always the friendly banter. Like today when Kazi was driving down the front stretch with Justin, he turns left over some just for fun. Just the friendly banter. And so it's always cool doing that to the guys. I'd like to thank my family, my grandpa, girlfriend Emily, my dad, everybody who tunes in the streams when they can and watch them back if they wake up in the next morning. And finally, Oscar, I'd like to thank you. I mean, so glad you're back. Can't wait to watch the broadcast. That was super, super awesome. You do such a good job. And yeah, hopefully, I have no idea what track we have next week. You probably have to tell me, but hopefully we'll be talking to you then.
IRP, and so far from what I've heard is not a lot of fun comments about it.
IRP. So what you're gonna see next week is the wall ride and the dive bombs. It is gonna be a wall riding, dive bomb sending, chaotic event. We'll get some cautions. I might be different. I'm not gonna put too bad words on it. I think it'll be a 8 caution, hopefully fun race. But I can see why some people would, very dislike going there. It's yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. You'll have your work full, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure we'll have we'll probably have a few fun moments next week. And as long as we have one semi-positive driver in the field, I think that's all we need.
That's a good way to put it. Fun moments. I like that. I like that. Fun moments. Well, that should be the title this week. Fun moments tonight. Should be the headline going to next week.
I like that. I like that. We'll make
awesome.
something out of that.
Oh yeah, perfect.
All right, Reese. Thank you for taking the time again to speak with us, and hopefully we can speak to you next week, and hopefully it'll be in a positive mood like tonight.
Yeah, I like that. I always keep it positive. Racing's always fun. Whatever happens, even I tell you what, some of the best races I've ever had, I didn't win. And specifically, actually, I remember I did a league race here in the truck, and I drove from 27th to 3rd in a really competitive league, and that was one of the best races I've ever had. So, and even IRP, I remember I had a race where I think I done one league race there ever. I think I finished like 5th or 4th, and I had a bunch of fun. So, everybody just thinks of the short track, close race, and that'll be rough, but we got some good drivers in this league, and though we will have precautions, we'll also have some really good moments. So, fun moments, as we put it. So, thanks again, Oscar, as always. And like I said, hopefully talk to you next week. And thanks for putting on a good podcast.
Yeah, and thank you again for the kind words. And until next week.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Alrighty, that was Reese Schaefer. Always fun to talk with Reese. Always down to earth and always willing to give you this insider scoop on things. And I think we both agree that it will definitely be fun moments for next week, and hopefully we are able to come out with a positive attitude. Let's see, going over some other things real quick before we go off here. We got our Hard Charger Award, who is going to go to Justin Levine from 17th to 1st, and getting that win. He'll be able to get this Hard Charger Award presented by Wraps by JB. Wraps by JB, custom goalie mask designs and paint schemes for every style. Make sure you look them up on Facebook, as they always represent out on the track with very beautiful paint schemes. Before we go after anything else, let's go ahead and go look at the schedule real quick. I did not update this, but the only change to the schedule is, instead of Mexico City on Sunday, February 8th, we will go to, I believe, Watkins Glen. So that is the only change on this schedule. Drivers voted for, or I guess we had a driver council that really voted for changing that track. Again, although I think a lot of drivers would love to go there, I think it's just best for the group overall to go to a track that a lot of people have and are familiar with. And then right after that track change, we will head to our season finale at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we will figure out who our playoff contenders and drivers who are racing for a championship will be. Again, the action comes back next week at the same time from Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. And until then, thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you wherever, whatever time it may be, in morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of the day. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys back here again next week.